Alright, and welcome to a new F122 My Team series. This series we are going to be tackling the grid, bringing a new team in, making that 22 drivers, and we'll have to start off in the dumps. We're going to put our AI difficulty to 105, and currently the new game is a lot more difficult in terms of AI. They are extremely aggressive, they will take you on, they will try and push you off the track, and you will see that later on in the episode when we get into the race, and even in practice as well. They seem to be spinning out quite a lot. We're just going to start by building our My Team though, worry about the racing later. We are going to be creating, like I said, our brand new team.
But as the owner of a brand new F1 team, first things first,
I'll be quiet.
Let's create your driver.
And first we've got to start off with our driver. I will pick the one that looks the most like me, of course. And we'll move across Australia, that is where I'm from. Pick our name, number, all that good stuff. And I think now we're ready to move on to what we want our car to look like, our team. See, I initially go through here and I make a helmet and an outfit to suit what I thought I was going to do the car colors as. I thought I'd go green and black, light green, dark green and black, which is what I usually go for. But as you can see, when we go to actually do the car, we decide to switch it up a little bit because I thought, you know what, new year, new me. I'm going to try something different. So this is just right now, we go with the same design, but we just switch the color palette on it. So sort of keep that sort of current look in mind. We're about to jump through and change that, of course. Picking our brand new podium emotes. There we go. If only I could jump that high. But the biggest thing I have noticed so far from this game is it is a lot different. Of course, you are going to be sliding more, but because the cars are so much lighter, so much heavier, they feel lighter on the rear end when you're exiting the corners, so you've got to be able to control that. We're going to name our team here Fleetwood Formula, you know, after my family name. And there we go.
Now,
Sweet. Now we can add ourselves a primary sponsor.
We're
going to go with the primary sponsor with the most signing bonus, just to give us a good start. And old mate doesn't shut his mouth. We've been through this a million times before. Essentially, goal bonus is less on this one, but we don't care. We're going to go do our engine supply now.
So let's sign a power unit supplier now.
And the biggest thing you can notice is that Red Bull and Mercedes are definitely the most viable options. Ferrari's just out of the league right now. It's not possible. But for the difference in durability, it's not worth the 400 grand, and you'll see in a second why. We got to pick our second driver. Let's see what the options are. And we do get Oscar Piastri. Now, I'm not sure if you're aware, but we also two drivers across see a guy who probably shouldn't be in the game anymore. Codemasters get onto that one. Yeah, a bit controversial, but I mean, if he drives in F2, he's in the game. Yeah, old mate, yeah, okay, experience, racecraft, awareness, pace. I'll let you listen.
Awareness shows the driver's ability to avoid errors and incidents. Pace describes the driver's ability to set competitive lap times. Focus represents the driver's current form and state of mind. Rating is a summary of the driver's overall skill level.
Yeah, so Oscar Piastri has got the best focus, which will help him develop quicker at the start as well, which is good, quite important. But what this means now is we're going to have an entirely Australian Formula One team for the first time in history. We will have two Australian drivers and Formula One's first Australian team. Australian all around the board. So we pick Oscar Piastri here. We're going to go through. Look, we have 700 grand still to go ahead and spend on other parts of the team. Now we're going to jump into our livery design, and here you can see I was playing around with a bit of a almost a greyish sort of brushed over purpley pink. I thought put the black with it, but then I thought, you know what, come over here, we'll change to a darker purple. And you can, there we go, you can see there we've put the trim, the light sort of purpley pink trim, lilac, I believe that's the color. and we're just playing around. You can see the different paint finishes this year, and what's really helpful is you can copy the color, and that makes our life a whole lot easier. And so after we're done with this, we'll also go through and quickly change our team, our driver outfits and stuff as well, just so they match. And going into our badge, we're going to be making it a W, because hopefully we can get a few. Not in this season, I don't know. I'm not too hopeful at the start of the year, but we have got it there. We'll remove the background on that one too, because I'm not sure if I'm too much of a big fan of it. But first we'll get our team colors correct. Beautiful purple black, love that, love that. And as soon as we have that saved, I believe it will be time to hear once again from the big man Will Buxton. He will lead us into our factory, I believe. So
Great,
over to
that's
Will.
everything we need.
Hello folks, and welcome to this, a very special edition of Paddock Pass. We're here at the headquarters of Formula One's newest team for an exclusive first look at what they will be bringing to the sport. It's always an exciting moment to welcome a new team onto the grid. However, what makes this occasion a little more special is how strikingly different the cars are this year. Yep, the long-awaited new regulations are finally here, and with them, the start of the next era of Formula One. The 2022 season ushers in a change of direction to the regulations aimed at promoting closer racing, with new aero additions in the form of swooping front and rear wings, along with the new eye-catching 18-inch low-profile tyres that will push tyre technology to the limit. So then, the question remains as to whether this team can grasp the opportunity before them with both hands and lead the charge against the rest of the paddock. We'll find out soon enough, as the new season is just about to begin. But first, let's see the unveiling of the team's car and meet the owner of the brand new Formula One team. Well, first of all, thanks so much for inviting us here today. It's been wonderful to see behind the scenes. As you might expect, I've got about 1 million questions, so let's jump straight in.
These selections here, how we respond to William is going to shape our team. If we answer in favour of aero, we'll get an aero boost. If we answer in favour of the powertrain, we'll get a powertrain boost. But we want to focus on chassis and aero because the cars are really badly weighted, they're unbalanced, and we want some more downforce. So you can see here, we're just going to answer whatever will favour aero and chassis. We don't really care about the answers, what the words say. It's just a good way to get us a little extra boost as we head into the new season. Focus on the car parts that we need, even though we probably should do some durability upgrades because I can see us having quite a few failures.
Most
we have
of the other teams can boast years of
experience. I'm pretty sure we have the worst durability of the entire grid because we have the Red Bull powertrain. And we also have just a really badly upgraded, not upgraded, should I say, car. But for now, none of that means anything if you don't have the pace to get there in the first place. So we will quickly jump on that and get our aerodynamics sorted before anything else. Because right now, we have no chance if we don't upgrade that side of stuff. So thank you for your time, William. Let's move on.
Well, thank you so much for your time. It's been wonderful to get an insight from you and, of course, to see around the headquarters. Thank you for today. Really appreciate it. And thank you all at home for watching as well. We'll see you very soon.
Alright, and here we are. So we've got our new team now. We're looking through our HUD, and we can see the different parts of our team. We've got our aero, our chassis, our powertrain, and our durability. We're just going to make our first few upgrades here. We've got 1,000 resource points to work with. We'll come in and do our team activities too, because they will give us resource points, acclaim, which is what's important here as a team. We want to get the most acclaim, which allows us to get in new sponsors and all that good jazz to make more money, because money in Formula One powers everything. So you can see here we're going to select a driver trainer camp because that's green all around. We want to boost Oscar Piastri's pace early on, and we get some resource points for it too. So after looking through our emails, we can simulate through the weeks, and we have a few more resource points coming in now, so we're going to go back and see what else we can upgrade with the points that we've got before the first race. So 550, that's perfect, that's enough for a powertrain, or we could keep focusing on our weight redistribution, which we will. And coming up now, we have the driver training camp, simulating through this stuff, and cool. Will this upgrade go on? Yes, it will. So we've got our first upgrade to succeed, which is most important, because what you'll find is that most upgrades do not succeed. With my luck, we have money left over. We're going to do some perks, so it will allow us to, one, reduce our engine wear, bring in more acclaim, and I can't remember what the other one is. Anyway, it helps us out. Here we go, we've got all the drivers that we can look out for. I don't know if we will be changing our driver. I'd like to bring I'd like to bring Oscar Piastri all the way, but Mark Webber there, another Australian, and if you find down here, look who's still here, Yuri Vips, hanging on to his contract with 2 hands. But before we go any further, let's move into our first practice session and see how this car truly feels. Now, we are looking through, it looks a bit different to last year's game. We don't have a rivalry yet, of course. I like the backgrounds, I like the menus, but who cares? Let's hit the tracks.
Hey mate, this is Mark. Just wanted to say thanks for trusting me as your race engineer. I won't let you down. The car's ready to go, but it's brand new of course, so there may be a few issues here and there. We'll be keeping a close eye on all the data from here.
Alright, thank you very much my friend. Let's hit the track for our first laps in this new team. Coming around the final corner, it already feels quite skatey. It's a bit of a weird car to drive, which is what I noticed. It can't make its mind up. It's either oversteery or understeery, both in the worst of times. And we start off with a track acclimatization because we should be able to succeed that regardless. It doesn't have a delta, which is strong, which is positive, should I say, for us. The deltas this year seem quite unreasonable. I feel obviously you can change the difficulty lower for the practice sessions if you want to succeed them, but I just feel like it's a bit of a frustration having to do that every 2 seconds. As you can see here, we're hitting purples pretty much everywhere. Coming through here, you can't mount that right inside curve as much anymore, you bottom out straight away. And I had a few issues with that in the laps that I was doing, especially in qualifying. It kind of ruined a few of my laps. A bit shaky on the curve, you can see the car bouncing up and down on that curve. This is probably my least favourite turn off this track. Not probably, it definitely is. DRS open, beautiful, and I just can't seem to get my line right through the right, either to brake too much when I'm turning or not enough. Here as well, you lose your rear end here out on the right quite easy. As you see, we do it there, we almost lose the car on our first lap, which wouldn't have been a great thing. But we managed to keep it on the track and, most importantly, keep these targets going. And at this point, there's no stopping. If we mess this up, well, might as well retire before the season's begun. So we are coming around the final corner in our first lap. Hit that curve a little bit too much and do enough just to bring it home. Open up the DRS purple, overtake on, and well, look, a good sign to begin. I mean, it says we're top of the tables, but we're not realistically. And let's go for another lap just for interest's sake. See what we can really push out of this car. And on the curb, coming around. Oh, and shit, we've lost it already, and we're into the gravel. All right, so. As you can see here, we went out to do a race strategy simulation and we cannot get the delta for the goddamn life of us. We had a spin earlier on in this lap, which is why our delta is so low. And we're going to go for another lap. We're not going to succeed the... we're not going to complete the strategy thing for any resource points, but just for knowledge of the car, I just want to go for another lap here. See if we can get any better pace. That lap was terrible. We're going to go again here and try and figure out this braking zone here because the cars rotate quite differently and it's very hard to judge when you can put the accelerator down, especially coming up through here. And we've lost it, we spin and we can't quite catch it. We're just dipping our rear tyres into the gravel and we are beached completely. no amount of acceleration saving us now. And it seems like we are out of the session here. I've never had this happen to me in any other game. You hear about it this year, you see it, and that's us disqualified from practice 1. Not even the AI can get it out. So, we are screwed. The session's ending now, there's no choice about it. And that's all she wrote. That's the end of our first practice session. Everyone would have set faster times as the track heated up. Let's go have a look where we would have ended up, and we can't actually tell. I believe we would have been around Oscar's pace, I think. It's hard to tell, I can't remember. But now we're just going to simulate the rest of these practice sessions. I did some practice, should I say, in time trial, trying to get used to that. But that was on the equal car, so it's not quite the same. We just need the resource points right now, to be honest. We need a better car, and that will be more important than a little bit of extra knowledge of the track. A car that's undrivable is undrivable no matter who's behind it. So we fail that, which is a bit of a shame, but we bring home a good amount of resource points. Oscar's lacking a little bit, but that's okay, we forgive the guy. And we bring home 1,400 odd resource points, which will help us get a good 2 upgrades onto the car. And we're going to put those on before we go into qualifying so we can get an extra day's worth of progress. We just knock that forward, and you see, if we left it till after the race, we might not have got it done till after Australia, so that's good to get it in before our home Grand Prix. Moving in now, we have Bahrain, and we're going to jump into qualifying. Alright, so qualifying here, we have our first session of the season. This is going to be an important one, but also our race pace is always better than the AI's race pace, so that's important to remember, especially, which could be useful if you consider going into sprint races in the future. I think that they might be a really good time for us. We can use that extra couple laps to gain a few more positions, which is everything that we want. We're going to hit the track driving out for our first qualifying session of the year, and just sort of see what banker lap we can get in the beginning. Track progression will probably be quite effective here, so we'll just see what happens. Give it our best shot. You can see right now coming out, we'll just look how cold the tyres are coming out of the pits. If you hadn't noticed it from practice, I don't know if I showed it, but you're coming out the pits now with 70-degree carcass temperatures, which is awful because it takes a good lap. As you can see here, I'm still not even up to the right temperatures. I'm trying to get a slipstream for my first lap from Max Verstappen. I let him go, but we have a really bad exit onto the last turn, and it kind of sets us up in a really bad spot. I mean, we can try and chase the Red Bull as all we want now, but it's not going to do anything. We're just going to show here our first lap of qualifying. As we come into turn 1, we're up on the curb a little bit, and we kind of hit a really early apex, and it just gives us a bad run into the next section, and we kind of compromise it, and we just lose so much speed, which is what we needed. That's my driving is poor. I haven't quite got the lines right, and trying to learn the gear changes on this and when to short shift and when not to avoid spinning and all that sort of stuff. It's quite difficult here, but I can't get this part here. Truth be told, Bahrain has never really been my favourite track. I just find it to be, I don't know, not to my driving style, I suppose. But especially through this section here, you can see I'm too hesitant coming out. I brake for so long, and then I am too scared to get on the accelerator, and then I'm like, oh no, like I've taken too long to accelerate, and then before you know it, I've stomped on the pedal to try and regain speed. Coming through here, we're even super slow. Like, I don't want to go down to gear 3 and then over rev and spin. You really have to try and carry as much of a minimum speed as you can, but it's difficult, you know. So we're going to come around, and we're on the back straight now. Would be nice to have some extra DRS here, but you know what, that probably be a bit silly. Last turn of the lap, you can see this is a little bit better. No, we're still mounting that curve on the inside. DRS zone, Max Verstappen is at 27.8, whilst we're only that's a 39.6. That is not going to be good enough. As you can see, we are currently lowest of them all, 1.1 seconds behind our teammate Oscar Piastri, the rookie. First time in the Formula 1 car on, like, it's his first weekend in Formula 1. He spent 3 hours in a Formula 1 car now, and we're not even going to do this last lap. We're down by 2 tenths in our delta, and that's us out of qualifying P22 in our first weekend of the new Formula 1 season. This is terrible. Absolutely shambolic. Oscar Piastri might have made it out of Q1 here in his first appearance, and he has. He's P14 in his first appearance in Formula 1. Oscar Piastri has cleared Yuki Tsunoda and cleared Daniel Ricciardo. Sebastian Vettel, the 4-time world champion, is out in the Aston Martin.
No more testing, no more practice. This is the real deal, and it's make or break here at round 1 of this year's Formula 1 World Championship. Formula 1 returns to the desert today on this exceptional 3.36 mile circuit. 15 corners provide plenty of overtaking opportunities, and it could be a strategic race, this one, with Sakia notorious for eating up the rear tyres. Watch out for drivers managing their rubber at some point during the Grand Prix. A new season then, a clean slate where anything could happen. Anthony Davis.
Back row of the grid, not a great start to the season, so let's try and improve our position over the course of this Grand Prix.
Let's get it, boys. Alright, time to check our strategy now. We're starting on the softs, but I don't think that's a great idea. I think with the AI this year, there's a very high chance of a safety car. They are very reckless. So we're going to chuck on the medium compound tyre. We're sussing out the hards. Not worth it. We're going to go for a medium and try and run it super long, and we can then decide if we want to overextend it or come in short for a pair of softs by either 1 or 2 laps. We could make it happen. We're going to do the formation lap right now. We're going to keep our position. Thank you very much, FIA. We are the only car right now, it seems, starting on the mediums. I think up ahead we have 1 or 2 people on the mediums. Esteban Ocon, I believe I saw on the medium tyres. And we're going to use this as a bit of a practice start. There's just so much boost in. As you can see, we're already sliding off to the right off the practice start, and we're going to skip ahead to the end of the formation lap now. You can see we're putting heat in the tyres, getting them nice and warm. You can see the bottom right hand corner, and let's do our first manual grid start. There we go. Beautiful. Finally got it purple on our first try. We kind of skidded into it. The 5 lights are on. And it's lights out, and away we go. We're going to be following Nicholas Latifi, trying to use a little bit of slipstream down into turn 1. Alex Albon seems to have had a bad start also. It's not actually too bad, it seems, considering the medium tyres. We're going to go down the inside of almost everybody. Coming around, we're in a pretty bad position. We're going to have to pull a run out here. We can open it up a little bit and then cut back in sweeping. Okay, cool, beautiful. Guan Yu Zhou out on our left-hand side. He's coming up through. He's now in front of us completely. It seems there's traffic up ahead. We just about miss out on the Alfa Romeo there. There's contact with Gasly and Ricciardo. Gasly, I think, he's lost his front wing. Looks like Guan Yu Zhou is now behind us. We've kept the position. That's a beautiful move just to avoid him. And there's definitely Gasly's got damage. He's going super slow up ahead, holding up Ocon and Tsunoda. Ocon is on the medium. He'll do a dive bomb there. A little bit of frame rate dropping, it seems, throughout this race. If you see this a few times, we just kind of drop a frame or so. And cars bouncing across. I don't know if this is the early game. We get early access here at this point. So I don't know what the deal is. Maybe my recording is just messing up. I didn't notice it when I was playing. But we're just so slow right now on first lap. We've got a heavy car. We haven't really had this way of car before. On the mediums, it's just a bad combination. With a slow car, Ocon's behind us now. How that happened, I can't remember. But we're up in a P12. We've jumped 10 positions on the first lap. However, I don't know if we will be able to maintain the pace to keep them behind us. It does seem like we are already losing Gasly. Although, decent exit. No, he's in. So, with damage, he was still pulling away from us. Now, lap 2, look, just so slow down into turn 1. We can't keep any speed. We're in P11 for now. The Guan Yu Zhou is coming at us, and he's coming at us quick now. He's up our outside, inside, going around. He's in front now, and he's going to hold that position. We're not going to be able to stop him, and we will just begin to lose many positions here. We have a terrible run through there. Ocon's through now. Schumacher's behind us, then Vettel, and we are just so slow. We can't drive this car for the life of us. The temperatures seem okay. If anything, the rears are kind of cold. The rear right at least is quite cold. And you just see the surface temperatures are just dropping as soon as we're in a straight line. Like you watch and then boom, down. Schumacher now behind us. He's going to get a good run at us. Boom, all of a sudden he's approaching us. into the last turn of the lap now, end of lap 2, should we say, and we're gonna get beaten, I believe, down the straight here by Mick Schumacher. Piastri behind him too, almost following through. DRS is on now, so we can use this opportunity to get down outside of Schumacher, try and turn. No, we couldn't turn it on. We can't get it back. But look, before we've even turned on DRS, he's already 7 tenths ahead of us. It's ridiculous. Even with DRS, he's pulling away. I'm using my overtake, and what you find here is that we're just not braking in time. And this is what I noticed. Not so much in time trial, it's just this car. Albon goes around up our inside, Piastri gives it a crack, and now Piastri's side by side with us, out of turn, whatever turn it is, the last turn, we get DRS, Piastri gets DRS, and we're going to swallow up Alex Albon. We go both sides of him, and he's now down 2 places when he was just in front. So we end up getting all those positions back that we had just lost, but look how many cars are behind, waiting to overtake me when I'm just slowing down with these mediums. Those softs are still hanging on. They're still going strong. Piastri's gone ahead of us now. We almost made contact with his rear tyre. We just about missed his side, but he's really given us a squeeze here. So we let him go ahead, or should I say, he just goes ahead. We're not going to let him go ahead. We don't have a choice if we're just too slow. And so Tsunoda's now gaining on us again. It's just a shambles. I can't drive this car. This is day 1 of playing the game. So yeah, I'm not as good of a driver in this career mode as I would have been at the end of last year. But that's not the point. The point is we're stupidly slow. Look, Tsunoda's going to get us now. Brilliant drive out of that turn. We've both got DRS, but it doesn't matter. It just doesn't matter. Like Tsunoda, he's up now. He's going to pull away from us within a second. Albon's behind us now, and then there's Lance Stroll. Like, it's just not working with these mediums. We have to try something different. It might be worth pitting for hards at this point and seeing what's happening, but if we're not getting any grip with the mediums, what's our chance with the hards? It's not like we're overheating or anything, so I just don't know what to do at this point. All we can do is drive our best and just see what happens, but I'm not losing. I'm going to lose quite a bit of hope here. We're going to get DRS still on Yuki Tsunoda, and we're chucking overtake on, but look, we're already down to 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8% on the start of lap 5. We're in P16, and we've drained our entire battery for what? Nothing. We gained 6 positions in total now, but before we had 10, and now we've dropped it all. It's pathetic. So all of a sudden, Alex Albon up our inside again. We're going to try and fight the position. We don't want to lose another spot. Maybe his soft will burn off in a bit. But for now, it doesn't matter. He's up ahead. He's got us now. Stroll and Vettel behind us. Boom. Lance Stroll goes around outside, but he's locked up, and off he goes. That's what I'm talking about with the air mistake. Stroll's effectively way back now, but he'll be fine. I'm sure he'll get us later. Vettel's now coming up our inside. We might as well just let him know that. But no, we're going to give it our best shot around the outside. But look, somehow we've got better traction in this area. But no, he's going to have it on our outside. We're having a bit of a spin there. Like, that's not what we want. We keep the position for now. How long? Who knows? Probably not for long. We've got DRS in a second. We've lost DRS to Alex Albon. We're extremely compromised here. He's going to try and go up the inside. I don't know if that's worth it, Sebastian. We're going to have that. Keep him behind. He's lost his momentum now, and that's a silly move from Sebastian Vettel, because if he waits 2 seconds, he's got DRS, he's got the slipstream, and he can get us down into turn 1. Now he's lost a spot to Latifi. Latifi's up ahead of us now. Awful. Boom. We've gone past with George Russell. We make a massive dive bomb move up the inside of Nicholas Latifi. Keep it clean, keep it on the track. And it seems like Perez has come out of the pits in front of us on the mediums. We've got the DRS somehow from Nicholas Latifi. Latifi's coming up the inside now. Dangerous position. We hold it. We go around the outside. No, we've made contact with the side pod there. And we've killed Nicholas Latifi. We've just got front wing damage from that one. Latifi's trying to bomb it up the inside. He's made contact and he's out of the race. What's he doing there? And then all of a sudden, we're trying to drive. The yellow flags are out. So we're just driving slowly. We've got damage. And then all of a sudden, George Russell up our rear end, just smashing into us. And now he's driven off the track. It's chaos. The safety car's completely out now. This is a decent opportunity for us. It's lap 6, so by the time we get back to the pits, we'll be halfway through the race essentially. But what do we do at this point? Do we go to hards and then sit on them for too long? Well, we're into the pits now. We don't have time to think about it. I believe we're going to go for softs here, because we spend 2 laps under the safety car, and before you know it, we're only going to have 5 laps on the soft, which is essentially when we were going to box anyway. We get purple optimal turn in, but the pit crew's not ready. You've seen that, we're going to drive into the back of him. We get the soft line, that's a 2.4 second stop, that's pretty decent considering our optimal times. And where are we going to come out? We're going to come out essentially at the back of the grid. We've got Stroll and Russell behind us. 2 cars, I believe, now are out of the Grand Prix. Warming up our tyres. The safety car's in this lap, so it was only out for 1 lap in the end. And we're going to go racing again on lap 9. So it will be 5 laps in the end to go until the end. We're going back to racing now. The safety car's in. We're going to follow Norris. We're going to pretty decent jump here. We've got the overtake on. We've got the slipstream, and he's not pulling away. We've got him. The softs are working. Now we're going to shape up a dive bomb into turn 1, and there's massive contact up ahead. And so everyone's out. Alonso, Schumacher, Gasly. What's happened there? Everyone's out, and we've got up in the P10. We've got points. George Russell is completely out of the session now. Surged right earlier. Schumacher, he's made it through, and everyone's still parked at turn 1. Got to wave him through, surely. There's no. That's got to be a safety car again. It's a shame Codemasters doesn't operate like that. But look, there's still front wings on the track around here. Stroll's been disqualified. Norris has been disqualified. Like, what's going on? This is crazy. I can't believe it. We've got a chance for points in our first race if we can manage to keep ahead of Gasly and Schumacher. 3-second gap. We're on the softs. We could be on here for a pretty decent result in our first race. Look, yeah, P10, it's nothing to really be too excited about usually. But this is this car and this season, and we qualified 22nd on the grid. We had a terrible race up until that safety car. Latifi was an idiot. He tried to go up our inside. He almost took us both out. Luckily, we kept it on the track. I mean, we went into him first, but look, we're pulling away from Gasly now. We're up behind, we're on Ocon. If we can drive this well, we have a chance to get P9 now. We just lost a second to Ocon, and he'll be pulling away from Guan Yu Zhou, but, I mean, we're dumping our overtake. Gasly's back into the pits now. That's helping us out immensely. We've got a 10-second gap to maintain. Schumacher's into the pits. Unfortunately, Piastri's gone with him. He must have made contact. And we're 1.1 seconds away from Ocon. And we're currently putting in some decent times considering what we were doing previously. I mean, we're holding on just about with Ocon. We're coming through the section now with all the front wing around. And yeah, so people are still squabbling, and all of a sudden we're being reminded that Stroll and Norris are out again. So we're just going to pass through this lap because it was essentially nothing. And Max Verstappen hits a 30.164. That's quicker than we were doing in qualifying, mind you. So we really have no chance to put the pace to it. DRS is enabled this lap, and unfortunately we couldn't stay with Ocon. Had we might have had a chance. We then drive 2 laps with absolutely nothing happening. We're now onto the final lap of the race, and Tsunoda is 1.5 seconds behind us. We have awful tyre wear around here. I can't remember the stats, but we're halfway through our tyres, I believe. And we're sliding everywhere. We were struggling the last 2 laps to keep it straight, and there was no one around us. We're just going to see around what's happening with the rest of the grid. Look, Guan Yu Zhou's overtaken Daniel Ricciardo, I believe it is, because Norris is out of the race, we know that. And look, our temps are okay, but we're just sliding everywhere. We're losing it. Tsunoda, half a second behind now. We go super deep, we're just not braking in time. Tsunoda's now coming around our outside before the DRS zone. We get the DRS strategically. We let him go ahead. And thanks to that intelligent tactics, we're going to stay ahead for now. Magnussen's got him though, and now he's what we have to worry about. Magnussen's gaining on us. He would have DRS. And we're going slow through here again, sliding a little bit, not got any traction. We've still got front wing damage, mind you, so maybe we should keep that in mind. Look, we're now up to 50% on almost every tyre. Max wins the race, and Magnussen takes us out, makes contact with us. We're slipping and sliding, and all of a sudden, he's up, coming around our left. We're going to let him overtake us just enough so we can get the DRS there. We dive bomb now. We hold that position. We give him plenty of space still around the outside, and he's going to use it. He's got the drive. He's coming at us, but luckily DRS just in time overtake, and we are going to get a point in our first race at Fleetwood Formula. P10. P10, what a weekend. Terrible weekend. But now we get a point for doing almost nothing. Everyone crashed out of the race, and that is a fabulous result. We get points on our debut. Incredible. Red Bull are happy with that. Let's go to the podium. Let's enjoy it for Max Verstappen. Who would have thought? Now, enjoy.
What was it that helped them achieve this success?
Taking care of the car was absolutely vital today. It's been obvious all weekend that the pace was there, but look at the attrition rate we've had. They would have been very concerned about any minor anomaly towards the latter stages of this Grand Prix.
The drivers are en route to the podium as we speak. What a fantastic win for the Red Bull team. They performed exceptionally today, keeping us firmly on the edge of our seats throughout the entirety of the race. Congratulations to everybody at the team.
And that's going to do it. Well done to Max Verstappen. Gets the first win of the season. He'll be happy with that one. And so are we. We're quite happy. A decent result. We've got a point. 12 positions gained. We get driver of the day. Great acclaim boost here. We're up to second acclaim. We lost money from the damages, but you know it was worth it, because without that wing damage, we might not have got our point. Thank you very much for watching the first episode of this My Team career mode. We will be back for more, heading in to our home Grand Prix.